Hey guys, it's TNT here. How's it going? Now, as you guys can see, I'm doing another video. Sorry I haven't gotten a video out in a long time. I don't have much of an excuse, but yeah, I have one out now. I think it's a pretty good video. As you guys can see from the title, I am pretty much ranking every gun in Blackout from worst to best. Alright. Now, this is my personal opinion. If you guys don't agree with that, that's fine. This is just what I've gathered from playing 80 hours or so of Blackout. This is just what I think. So yeah, I guess I'll get straight into the video. I hope you guys enjoy it. Subscribe, like, do all that stuff. And yeah. Alright guys, so pretty much I'm gonna start off with the weapons that I don't know very much. There are 3 of them I don't know much, either because I haven't used them or I haven't used them much. So I don't want to have an opinion on these because I just don't know how they work exactly. So in the number 30 spot, I have the ray gun. Now, a lot of people say this ray gun is really good. I'm not too sure. From what I've gathered, it seems like it's really good at close quarters, but once you start getting at longer range, it sucks. Because the bullets have to travel and stuff. So yeah, ray gun. And then in the 29th place, I have the MP40. Pretty much, I've used this a couple times before. The MP40, it seems okay. You can't put an attachment on it, and you can't put any attachments on it, and it has a lot of kick from what I've gathered. And I mean, it just seems like an okay weapon, I guess. I don't know. Then the War Machine. Honestly, the War Machine doesn't seem that good just because the bullet or the grenades bounce, and it's kind of hard to aim your shots and stuff and get to land where you want to. So yeah, those are the 3 weapons I don't understand well. Now we're moving into the weapons that you should never use, okay? Alright, now we have in the 27th spot the XS model. Pretty much this is the revolver type weapon that really isn't that good. You can find it in zombie areas. It's honestly pretty bad. It doesn't do much damage. You can't put attachments on it. The iron sights suck. So I really won't recommend using that. Now on the 26th spot, we have the Strife. Now this is a pistol. Pistols in this game aren't very good. So it's just a normal pistol. You really don't want to use it unless it's your only option. Now in the 25th slot, we have the RK7. This is I believe it's 3-round burst pistol. It has, I think, a 15-round magazine. This thing really isn't that good, just because it doesn't do very much damage, and you go through the magazine extremely fast. It doesn't have many rounds, and it seems like when I'm shooting at someone, I go through the mag before I kill them, and it really sucks. Now, in the 23rd spot, we have the, I think it's Zwei Hander, I think it is. It's like that LMG you find in zombie areas. It seems like a pretty bad weapon. I mean, I've used it multiple times. It's not very good. I only really pick it up to shoot zombies with, so I don't waste my main ammo. I really wouldn't recommend using this weapon. Alright, now we're moving into the weapons that I believe are okay, and you really shouldn't use them much. But, they're not the worst weapons at the very beginning of the game. Now, in the 22nd spot, we have the Spitfire. I put this here just because the Spitfire has a lot of kick, and I don't feel like it's very good unless you're right next to somebody. So I wouldn't really recommend using it. In the 21st spot, we have the VKM 750. Now, this weapon really isn't that good. It's an LMG. It takes 50 cal ammo, which kind of sucks. It's just, I don't feel like this is a very good weapon. It's probably, I'd say it's the worst LMG in Blackout. Now, in the 20th slot, we have the Swordfish. The Swordfish really, it might be slightly controversial. In close quarters, it's decent, but it just has a lot of kick. It's a 4-round burst weapon. I just feel like the ABR is much better, and the Swordfish really just has too much kick and doesn't do enough damage. I don't feel like it's worth it. Now, for the 19th slot, we have the MOG 12. This is a shotgun. I know that Shroud likes to use the shotgun a lot. You really have to be pretty accurate, and it doesn't really matter what armor they have. They're pretty much always going to take 2 shots, and I don't feel like it's very good, so I wouldn't recommend using it. Now in the 18th slot, we have the Helion Salvo. Now this is the RPG, the rocket launcher, whatever, that you use to shoot down vehicles with. It's pretty good at destroying vehicles. You know, you can take down helicopters pretty easily since it has a tracking feature and stuff. But it's just not very good against people whatsoever. And it's one of those weapons that's very situational. Like, I'll pick it up if I have an extra slot, but otherwise I won't. It's just one of those really extremely situational weapons. Now in the 17th slot, we have the GKS. Now this is an SMG. I don't feel like it's very good. It's just like, you know, it's an SMG. It's just okay. It's nothing like really special. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend using this often. Now in the 16th spot, we have the Hades. This is another LMG. This LMG, I believe, is, you know, not the worst thing in the world, but I really don't like it much. Don't use it unless you really have to. And yeah, I mean, it's okay, but not that good. Now in the 15th spot, we have the Titan. The Titan is actually a somewhat decent weapon. You can find it fully decked out, golden with attachments, and I always enjoy that because I just take the attachments off. It's an okay weapon. It has a slow fire rate. It does decent damage, but it's just like one of those alright kind of weapons. It might be decent for suppressive fire, but I'm not a huge fan. Now, in the 14th spot, we have the SOG 9mm. This weapon is pretty good if you know how to use it right. You pretty much just gotta jump around someone and bunny hop around them and just shoot them. It's pretty hard for them to shoot back. You pretty much just hit fire with this thing. It can actually shred people in close quarters, but besides that, that's not very good. Yeah, so now we're moving on to the weapons that I feel like are a bit better. Like, you can pick these up if you have an extra slot, you know, they're not that bad at all, but they're not as good as, like, some of our better weapons. Now, in the 13th slot, we have the MX9. This is another SMG. I believe it's a decent SMG. It's not the best, not the worst. It's kind of in the middle, I'd say. I'd say overall it's decent. Now, in the 12th spot, we have the SG-12. Now, the SG-12, I think, is actually a pretty good weapon, and I mean, honestly, in close quarters, it can just destroy people. It's pretty much the same as the MOG-12, except it just fires much quicker. So I think this is actually a good weapon. You can put a lot of attachments on it, and yeah, so I think this is a great weapon. Now, in the 11th spot, we have the Cordite. Now, the Cordite, I think, is the best SMG in the game. You know, it's not the worst. I mean, it can compete with rifles for sure in close quarters, but anything over, you know, like pretty close quarters, it's not very good. It has a really huge magazine, which is great, so you can take on like whole squads in close quarters, but I wouldn't take it over a rifle or something. Now, in the 10th spot, we have the Auger DMR. I actually like this weapon as a secondary, you know, kind of replacement for a sniper. Or a substitute for a sniper, I should say. It's a decent weapon if you fully deck it out and stuff. It has a lot of kick, which is a problem, but I've definitely gotten a lot of kills with this weapon. It's one of my favorite weapons. I really like it. Now, in the 9th spot, we have the Maddox. Now, the Maddox, I think, is the worst rifle, and I think a lot of people are going to disagree with me, but it's just because, you know, for one, the iron sight's really bad, which isn't too big of a deal, because you can just get a scope. But it has a really high fire rate. The recoil is kind of baddish on it. I think it's a really good rifle for close quarters. I think it's the best rifle for close quarters. But, you know, at longer ranges, it's pretty hard to hit your targets, and that's why I put that in the 9th spot. Now, in the 8th spot, we have the Rampart. Now, the Rampart is another, you know, decent rifle. It recently got buff, which made it much better, the recoil much more manageable, and I think it's pretty good now. So, I mean, I would definitely take it if I don't have any other rifle, or I take it over the Maddox as well. So it's a decent weapon, does a lot of damage, has a slow fire rate, but overall, I think it's a decent weapon. Now, in the 7th spot, we have the ABR. Okay, I think this is a very good weapon. It's very good for long range because you can put a sniper scope on it. So if you get a sniper scope on the AVR, then you can completely destroy people at long ranges. I think it's better than the DMR, than the Augur DMR at long ranges. It's extremely good. Now the Paladin. That's number 6 spot. I think that the Paladin this is very controversial. I think a lot of people put this in the first spot. But with the Paladin, yes, it does a lot of damage, but it feels very slow and clunky. It feels like you can't move around quickly. It feels like it's you have a lot of sway while you're using the scope and stuff. And I feel like it's really hard to hit your shots with the Paladin. With some of the other snipers, it's pretty easy, but I feel like with the Paladin, it's really hard to aim and hit people. Now we are moving on to the 5 weapons that I think you should pick up every single game. These should be the weapons that you're looking for the most. They are very good, and I think that, you know, they're probably the best weapons in the game. They are the best weapons in the game. Now, number 5, I put the Koshka in this spot. The Koshka is a decent sniper. It's actually a very good sniper. I don't think it's as good as like some of the other snipers, but it's definitely still very good. I'm not a huge fan of it, mainly because of well, it has a slower fire rate than the Outlaw, and the sniper scope you put on there, really, I'm not a fan of. I really don't like that thing much. Now, in the number 4 spot, we have the KN57. Now, the KN57 is very good. It's a very good rifle. It's pretty much just like your normal AK in pretty much all games. It does a lot of damage. It's decent at long range, close quarters, mid range. You can definitely hit your shots with it, and it does a lot of damage. Now in the number 3 spot, I put the ICR. I don't think this was much of a surprise. I think that the ICR is the best rifle in the game. Just because it has very manageable recoil, it does a decent bit of damage. You can put a lot of attachments on it. I feel like it's just the best rifle in the game. I'll take this over any other rifle for sure. Now in the number 2 spot, I put the SDM. Now the SDM is just like the Mark 14 in any other game. It's really good. It can like 2-shot people, I believe. It does a lot of damage. I think it can insta-kill with a headshot, if I'm not mistaken. It's a super good weapon, and honestly, the SDM is I'd say is almost the same as the first weapon in this list, and the first weapon is the Outlaw. Now, I'm not sure. I don't think this was much of a surprise. I think a lot of people will put other weapons in the number 1 spot, but for me, it's the Outlaw, just because I seem to do really good with the Outlaw. I get hit all my shots. The Outlaw does a lot of damage. It's a good sniper, very high fire rate, and I think it's definitely deserving of the number 1 spot. Now, I'd say it's very, very close with the SDM, just because some days I'll take the SDM, some days I'll take the Outlaw. It kind of depends on how I'm feeling, but really, they're both extremely good. The SDM caters more towards players who don't have as good of an aim, since it's like a semi-auto weapon. The Outlaw, you have to, be decent at quick scoping and stuff. You have to have decent aim. But yeah, I'd say those weapons are pretty interchangeable. It's kind of up to you with what you want. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed my list. I put a lot of time into kind of deciding, what should go where and stuff. I feel like it's a really good list. This is, my opinion. If you have a different opinion, put it in the comments, okay? You don't have to be a jerk about it. This is just what I think. Please respect my opinion, But yeah, this is my list. This is what I think. And I hope you guys enjoy it. So I guess see you guys next time, and goodbye.